Welcome back and thanks for joining me for the final preview of the Triple Crown season. So far, Justified has captured the first two jewels of the Triple Crown, and this Saturday we'll be running in the grueling mile-and-a-half Belmont Stakes to see if he can become only the 13th horse in horse racing history to capture the Triple Crown. He'll be vying for his place in immortality. Along with him will be 9 other entrants, all vying for their own immortality. Not only to become an American Classic winner, but also becoming the first and possibly only horse to ever defeat the great Justified. Tonight we were brought to you by MaxActionSports.com. They have all your gambling needs and horse racing needs. So after you watch this video, head on over there and you can check out my full preview of all 13 races on the Belmont Stakes Day card. For those who've been with us, you know the drill. We're going to run through all 10 entrants. We're going to give you the prediction on who's going to win the race, and then we're going to tell you how to make some money. For those of you new, welcome. Sit back, enjoy, and we're going to get you through this pretty quickly. First horse is Justify. What can I say? He's 5 for 5. Told you he was going to win at Churchill. Won that easy. Told you he was going to win at Pimlico. It was a much tougher race than I think most experts thought, and he prevailed. What we don't know is what those two races took out of him. Unfortunately, we're not going to know that until this race concludes, but he's a big, strong horse. The rail's not going to hurt him. He likes to be on the lead early. He has top-end, first-class speed, so it's not going to cause a problem. Mike Smith should move him out off the rail 1 or 2 spots. He'll have a nice run. It's just if he can withstand the full mile-and-a-half on the lead, something that many horses struggle with, and Justified possibly could. At 4 to 5 or even money, he's definitely going to be a big play, although I tend to think those odds might drop with 90,000 people there all hoping for the same thing. Second horse is Free Drop Billy. Before the Derby, we told you he really had no chance. Well, he ran 16th and proved me right. I also told you he was alive for Belmont consideration. Why I said that was pedigrees make Belmont. His pedigree is first class. He's got Union Rags as a sire, who won this race back in 2012. And if you go back and you actually look at the Derby, Robbie Alvarado, his jockey, did a great thing. So Free Drop missed the break immediately. And instead of trying to catch up and with a subpar horse to begin with, he just sat back and pretty much had a glorified training, 1.25 mile run around the track. What that did is that saved the horse, didn't expend himself, didn't run in the Preakness. So he's coming into this race as fresh as can be. He's also had 2 fantastic works since that time. So he's coming in form, in shape, and with a full head of steam. 30 to 1 is a crazy price for him. Going to be all over it in a variety of different ways. Bravazzo, yeah, I got to eat a little bit on this one. I couldn't pronounce his name in Preakness video. I said it wouldn't matter because Larry Comas wouldn't call it. Well, not only did he call it, but he called it late and up for second. Cost me some money as I had Tenfold across the board. I'm sure you did too if you followed us on the Preakness picks. You know, more and more this horse is starting to remind me of Mr. Z. And I mean that as complimentary as I can. He puts in a solid, strong effort each time out. He runs an honest race. And I think he's definitely alive for a late run at 3rd, 4th, maybe even getting up to 2nd as he did in the Preakness. 8 to 1 is a short price though. I don't like it. I'm never going to love this horse. But he did prove me wrong once, and not usually a guy that's going to make you have to prove it twice to me. Hofburg, he was the wise guy horse in the Derby. He ran a terrible 7th. Yeah, he's a Tappet. People are going to say, Tappet Colt has won the Belmont 3 out of the last 4 years. Yeah, Free Drop Billy, I said the pedigree makes it. But this is a pedigree that a lot of people have. There's a lot of Tappets out there. He's one of the best sires in the world for a reason. And Hofburg only has the pedigree. He doesn't have any wins against any top quality horses. Would I like him better at higher odds? He's 9 to 2. Would I like him better at 10 to 1, 15 to 1? Yeah, I would. I still wouldn't bet him, but I'd like him a lot better. Wise guys or no wise guys, Hofburg is a total toss. Restoring Hope. I have no idea why Bob Baffert has entered this horse. I think maybe because he knows he has absolutely no chance of upsetting Justify in his Triple Crown bid. As my Twitter friend, Derbyologist, would say, he's a clown show, plain and simple. Gronkowski, well, the old saying goes, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. But we know in the real world, names matter. They just do. Would Gronkowski be 12 to 1 if he wasn't named after party boy Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski? No. Would anyone consider him a real threat? No. He's never gone over a mile. He's got a new jockey. He's never raced in the States. All I can say is his namesake's probably going to have a better day at Belmont than the horse is. Because Gronk the horse is just not going to do anything. Tenfold, in stark contrast to Gronk, this is a real 12 to 1 horse. This is a horse that has a chance, but it's not a great chance. 3 weeks ago, if not for Bravazzo's flying in and ruining our across the board on Tenfold, we would have hit some serious money. But Tenfold wasn't able to capture as much as we needed him to. He doesn't have the build of a Preakness winner. Yeah, he's a Curlin, but he's a slighter Curlin than we're used to seeing. The Derby Preakness runner-up usually runs a dud. Just does in the Belmont. I'm going to go with the trend on this one. I'm going to say mile and a half's too long. It doesn't have it in him. And we're going to pass on him. Vino Rosso. I told you the 18 spot would kill him in the Derby. Told him that was absolutely the death of him, which it was. He had no shot. He didn't do anything to prove that he would have had a better shot if he was closer, but I think that is largely due to just being out of the race before it even starts. He's been training well. Pletcher seems to have this son of Curlin looking great. As we know, Curlin is a top sire. He's sired Belmont winners before, being Palace Malice. He's a contender, and he's going to be on a lot of tickets at 8 to 1. He's done nothing wrong in his career. He was out of the Derby before it ever started. Noble Indy. He ran a counterintuitively great 17th in the Derby, and I know that sounds ridiculous. But he came out and was in the first group of horses for the first mile of this race. He was 5th or 6th, 7th, on the calls. And you go back to the post positions, it says 9th, but if you watch the race, he's really in the top 6, 7 horses. Coming around the final turn, there was a wall of horses 5 deep or 5 wide in front of him. Rather than taking him out 6 wide, trying to get up late, Flavian Pratt just sat back and really saved his horse and watched everybody run by, and he just tried it. You can actually see him stand up. I think that's a reason why he gets a new jockey, Javier Castellano, who's one of the best jockeys in the world for this race. 30 to 1 for a horse that is training well, has Pletcher training him and Castellano riding him is insanity. Noble Indy will be a certain play across the board, win. I think he has a real shot at winning this race. 10, Blended Citizen. He's the winner of the local prep, the Peter Pan. He's a sentimental favorite, but he lacks quality wins against top competition. Kyle Frey is stepping up into the upper stratosphere of jockeys here, where the immortals live. He is not that. He might become that, but he's not that now. I think he's outclassed. I think the horse is outclassed. There are simply better choices at higher odds. So Blended Citizen, whether you win the Peter Pan or not, we're going to hook you right out of here. So those are your entrants. We're going to give you the prediction here. The average price for the Belmont winner over the past 8 years is a staggering $23.61. That's $23.61. Only 2 times in that span was the winner ever under $12. Now that, of course, was the great American Pharaoh and Union Rags in 2012, who, if it wasn't for missing the break at the Kentucky Derby, might have been running for his own Triple Crown. Over that same time span, only American Pharaoh won the Belmont after even competing in the Preakness. And 4 times in that same time span, the winner came from a disappointing Derby finish, skips the Preakness, and then wins the Belmont. As you know by now, Justified fits none of those trends. Justified has powered through 2 sloppy tracks twice in the past 5 weeks. He's running his 6th race since the middle of February and has traveled across the country. His sire, Scat Daddy, is known as not a distance horse, not a distance sire, and he loves to get on the lead early and run on his own pace. That's tough to maintain for a mile and a half. I'll be rooting like hell for him. I'll be in the crowd, 90,000 strong. But my gut tells me there's too much stacked against him. I think a mile and a half is just too far for him, even if he didn't have all the miles on him. But he's got the miles on him, and that's even a bigger knock. The field is much better than the Preakness. The field is fresh, it's talented, and it's diverse in running styles, which is going to create some havoc. I think the best horse in the field is Vino Rosso. Outside of Justify, of course, but I think Justify is not the best horse for this race. I think Vino Rosso is. He's got the pedigree to win. He's fresh. He's got the trainer. And he's got Johnny Velasquez, two of the top in the world. Hopefully, it's a fantastic race with a fantastic finish, and Vino Rosso comes out on top, and we'll all be celebrating at about 6:50, 6:55 Saturday evening. Now, we're all through that. Let's make some money. Free Drop Billy at 30-1. He's an across-the-board bet. Heavier on place and show than win, but he's across the board. Vino Rosso 8-1. I'm going to put about a 20 to 25% of your bankroll win bet on him, and we're going to use him in almost all tries and Zacta boxes, especially a good-sized Zacta box with Justify, Vino Rosso on top of Free Drop Billy and Noble Indy. Noble Indy 30-1. We're going to do the same as Free Drop Billy, play him across the board, but we're going to go heavier on the win and lighter on the place and show, because I think he has a better chance to win or do nothing, whereas I think Free Drop Billy will be there no matter what. And Justify at 4-5, even money, somewhere around there. You can put a decent size, small to decent size win bet on him, simply because he has potential, simply because he's just such a fantastic horse. If he's there, you do want to be able to celebrate with everybody else. He'll be in some Zactas, he'll be in some tries underneath. You don't want to get too heavy with him up top just because his price is that short. But he'll be in those for certain. So those are 4 horses that you're going to be putting money on. If you want to do a super, I would put Bravazzo on the show and 4 end of that super, including with these 4. So there you have it. The 150th running of the Belmont Stakes should be good. Weather's calling for a good one. Once again, after this video, head on over to maxactionsports.com. I'm going to put the link in the profile here. And check it out for all your betting needs. And check out my write-up on the Belmont. So thanks for watching. And always remember, if you don't bet, you can't win.